So today I figured I'd just talk about my recent road trip to Connecticut. So I've gone across the country a couple of times, and um, it's not hard to convince myself to like go on a trip somewhere. It's really fun. Just get in the car, experience new places, be on the road. Like I really get to bond with my car and learn more about it, doing things like that. So I was looking for some more skid pad time, and honestly, there's just nothing out here. When you go onto motorsportsreg.com, like they've got like all the nearby stuff. So I typed in like skid pad or car control clinic and couldn't find anything. Um, what I did find were a bunch of team driving programs, and those are great, those are important, but not really what I'm looking for. I want something a little more advanced. I want access to the skid pad to just kind of, work on my skills. And literally the closest thing was Lime Rock Park. I was like, well, this is a well-known track, a cool track. Why not go check it out for myself? And I was like looking at the time off I could get from work, and I was like, I think this could work. I mapped it real quick and like, okay, that's like 15 hours. Man, I'm not doing that in a day, not comfortably. I won't be happy with myself if I do that, especially because I need to be well rested before a track day. A track day can be exhausting. So I was like, okay, the answer here is I need 2 days out, 2 days back. And that's awesome because it leaves me time to like really, you know, do a lot of driving and then have a relaxed day or however I want to do it. It gave me a lot of flexibility. So as soon as I got approved for the time off, I bought my entry ticket and said, I'm doing it. And really that's the first step, is you just have to commit. And once I did that, I made it happen. So I went out on, let's see, I left on a Thursday because the event was a Saturday. I left on Thursday, not bright and early, but kind of noon-ish, a little before then, and tried to get about 10 hours in. So my coworker, Eric, shout out, his dad and some of his like friends were right there in DC, so he hooked me up with them, and I drove up to DC and spent the night there. So got in pretty late, but it was not too late to grab some dinner, and then kept on the road and made my way up to well, the next morning I got back on the road and made my way up to New York City. And I had just enough time to stop in for a restaurant and just kind of check out New York City a little bit. And oh my goodness, like New York City is ridiculous like that. Driving in New York City is the most stressful driving I've ever done in my life. I mean, I'm serious. On track, anything, and nothing compares to just trying to get through traffic in New York City. It's insane. I had a moment where it was 4 lanes one way. All 4 lanes were merging into two at the same time. Like because there was construction, and everybody was like trying to figure it out. And at the same time, an ambulance behind us was trying to get through. It was absolute chaos. But thankfully the ambulance did make it through. We were, people, at least decent enough humans to make that happen. But that was insane. And then kept going up the New Jersey Turnpike and doing all kinds of tolls. Like I ended up with like $70 in tolls.
This thing's gonna clock my time in and my time out to issue me a speeding ticket if I go over the speed limit. All I can think is, you've got the course. You need to slow down to make up the time gained.
And parking was insane, especially in New York City. Like it was awful. But it was worthwhile. It was a good experience. It was fun to go do that once. I don't know if I'd try to drive in New York City again, like unless I really had to or I had a good excuse to. I would like to go back for the Glen, because Watkins Glen is a well-known and beautiful track up there. But yeah, when we got up there, it was just absolutely gorgeous. It was such a beautiful track, and got some time on the autocross course they had, which was actually a more interesting autocross than what you're typically used to or what I'm typically used to. And then they transitioned us over to the skid pad, and the skid pad was really high grip compared to what I'm used to, and pretty high speed as a result. But it was a neat place to actually get the car very sideways at speed and find out I can just lay in the throttle and actually control the car, which was pretty exciting. And all of that really reinforces smooth driving and gets you a little more comfortable with pushing your car to its limits, which is great when you've got a car that you're new to. I always try to find some kind of educational event anytime I purchase a new car to really feel the car out. And this was a perfect one. Then I went on track, and it was absolutely stunning. Lime Rock is just a beautiful track. If you get the opportunity, definitely go out there. Definitely try to make it when the trees are in color, because it's incredible. It's a pretty high-speed track. It's really not that scary. There's one turn where you really have to trust the hill, because you'll get the grip when the front end gets to the hill. You can do more turning, but then the car needs to be straight because you go straight over a crest. So that's a little tricky there. And then the rest of it's, there's a couple decreasing radius turns, so you've got to adapt for those, but the rest of it's just, find a good line, stay smooth, minimize your braking, brake late. If you can do that, you can pick up a lot of time at that track. I progressively picked up time throughout the day. I ended up in like 108.5 or something like that, which I was pretty proud of considering I was running a street tire and new to the car, new to the track. But it was a really good time. On the way back, I got to stop in and catch up with a friend on the way home. Jake, it was good to see you, and Amanda, thanks for having me. That was a really good time, and then I made it the rest of the way home and had just enough time to unpack and do a little laundry and everything, get ready for the week. Unfortunately, I end up sometimes overcommitting myself on these weekends, and it really is rough to get back ready for the week afterwards. So I try to make it where I'm at least home by 5 or 6 so that I've got time to unload the car and do some laundry and kind of reset. If I don't do that, I just find it really hard to get back into the swing of things. But yeah, that's it. I mean, honestly, I'm getting pretty comfortable with these kinds of trips, so I kind of make my plans last minute and I pack last minute, and it works out. And honestly, I've found that the less planning I do, the better things work out, or at least things work out as well. So planning super far ahead isn't necessarily that advantageous. Anyways, I'll have got a lot more to share with road trips and things like that. So more to see from me there. I mean, I got to fill content for 100 days, so I'm definitely going to have to talk about these road trips more. But I wanted to get, a basic synopsis of the trip in, and that's what this is about. So I'll see you guys tomorrow.